And Parents of the Year award go to these two individuals right here. Holy crap. Of all of my years watching anime and reading manga, it's rare to see good parent characters in a story. It's not like it doesn't happen. It's so rare for a story to implement good parents. And mainly the reason why this happens is because most of the time, manga is catered to a younger audience. I'm not saying all manga. A lot of manga is for adult audience. I mean, I highly doubt Berserk is for children, okay? Let's be real here. But the point is that a lot of manga tend to be targeted towards a younger audience. And so to have the protagonist, not have any conflict with his parents, usually the parents are just completely written out of the story. Either they're overseas, they're busy, dead, etc., etc., or they're just straight up bad parents. And in this case, it's just a common norm at this point in manga and anime. And seeing how this series handled the parents, it blew my mind. I'm really shocked with how realistic the parents were. So I want to go over that. I want to talk about why the mother and father, or, Natsuo's father and his stepmom, and why they're really good parents. So, as we know, with the first episode, we knew that our main character was now technically a family with the girl he slept with, and also the sensei that he was in love with. That happened thanks to the mother and father coming together and starting a family. And when you look at the events of episode 1, 2, and even 3, it seems like the relationship has progressed at an alarming rate. They're really speeding with the relationship. Like, they're really going faster and faster with it, and it just seems like it's just fast drama, romantic love. It's like a blazing flame, and that it could easily go out. And we know that they were talking for a little bit before they came out and started mentioning to their kids that they were in a relationship. That was clarified in the first episode. But with them going as far as to have a marriage, to moving in together, seeing this episode and how they were willing to divorce, many might say it's extreme. But that's honestly not the case. I think it was a very mature thing to do. It shows that the writer is very self-aware, but also the parents are self-aware of the situation. And let me explain. See, like I already said in this video, their relationship was progressing at an alarming rate, at least from the perspective of the children. Hina, Rui, and Natsuo, seeing, their two parents coming together like that, it's just like, whoa, it's fast, like, extremely fast. And the parents realized that. They realized from the outsider's perspective with their children, it would seem like they're just going so quickly that it's putting hardship and a burden on their children. So even though they love each other, even though they care for each other and they want to be together, they realized in the end their children's happiness is worth more than their happiness. Now, it's sad, yes. I'm not saying it's a good thing, and, I want people to do that constantly, or people should do that all the time, but it showed a level of maturity from the parents. They were like, look, we love each other, we don't hate each other, but we realize that because of how fast maybe things are moving, our children are not ready for this, and maybe we should just stop for the time being, separate, and gradually build up. And so when you saw the divorce papers on the table in the kitchen, it showed that these two were willing to put aside themselves for their children, their happiness, their future. And in that moment, I'm like, this series, this is good. This wow. Like, it's rare you see parents do something like that. That was on a whole other level. So anyways, let's talk about the actual drama in this episode. So Hina, she is the main focus of this episode, or actually the past couple episodes. As we know, the MC Natsuo's relationship with Hina is complicated, along with Rui as well. I mean, I think theirs is a little bit more complicated, but Hina is complicated because, number one, the MC does love Hina. He's crushing on her, and he wants Hina to be with him. Even though it's taboo, sensei and, student to be together, that's not something that should happen. And it's not even getting into the fact that they're now technically family. So, when you look at all that, it seems like you shouldn't do it. You should give up. But that's the thing, though. See, as I've said many times in the past with romantic series, love is illogical. I mean, seeing Natsuo in love with Hina, regardless of the situation, it's understandable. Because sometimes you can't really explain love. Love is a crazy thing that breaks logic. You would think, oh, it's logical not to do it or whatever, but sometimes love just, yeah, it goes beyond logic, and it just, they go with it. They go with what their heart says or their feelings say. And that's kind of what can also be applied to Hina as well, and what she's currently doing. Even though it's despicable and disgusting, I still have to say her actions, though, technically, it once again has to do with how love is illogical. Now, like I say, I'm not saying what she's doing should be done, or, she should keep doing it. I'm just giving context to kind of what it means and why she probably is doing it. But Hina is in a relationship with a dude that already has a wife, from my understanding. And that's messed up. Because, look, I understand if Hina was unaware of it. Like, if she was unaware that the dude she was with, like, in a relationship with, had a wife or whatever. Like, if she was unaware of it, I would understand, okay? But she does know, she is aware of it, she accepts it, and she's still willing to be in a relationship with the dude, which is messed up. It's a very messed up relationship, because it's not just the fact that the husband is cheating on the wife. Hina is going along with it. And honestly, it makes you wonder, how could you want to be in a relationship with an individual, not just a dude or anybody, if they're willing to cheat on the one that they had a commitment with? For instance, if you have a commitment of marriage, and one of them cheats, and then someone cheats with them, like, for instance, what Hina's doing, how could you want to be in a relationship with a person, a serious relationship, and maybe eventually be a husband and wife one day, if he could do something like that behind his already wife's back? It's just like, how could you trust someone? How could you do that? And it's honestly going to turn into a dead end. And I wonder if Hina is aware of that if she continues with this, she's going to reach a roadblock in her life, at least when it comes to this relationship. Because it's going to happen one day to where the wife is either going to find out, or, Hina is going to get with the dude, and then the dude's going to do what he's doing to his current wife to her, and it's just going to be a cycle. And so, it's just going to be a dead end. I feel in some ways bad for Hina, but she is digging her own hole this time. She is digging her own hole and issues because of how she's just willing to go along with it. But like I said, love is illogical. But anyways, Natsuo and Rui, they want to end that relationship. They want to make sure that Hina completely disregards the dude she has a crush on or love or whatever, and move on with her life. And they have a plan, which we don't really know the full extent of the plan. It wasn't explained in this episode, but honestly, I am on their side. I mean, if there's any reason to really break up a relationship, it's probably something like this. It's not morally right, it's messed up, and it's not fair for all parties, I don't think. So I think what they're doing is actually in some ways a good thing to do. It might be immature, maybe, to step into that balance of someone else's relationship, but sometimes, you gotta just lend a helping hand even if someone really doesn't want it. So, anyways, let's talk about Rui and, Natsuo's kind of relationship in this episode. So we already know in the last episode, Rui is not really good at communicating with people. She's antisocial, and she has problems with really fitting in. And you can see in this episode, she is very connected with Natsuo now. Like, she respects him, she relies on him in a way, and she even did try to find where he was staying, before they could have a conversation. And it's nice to see that there's really not a lot of awkwardness between those two. I mean, after everything that's happened, especially with the first episode, you think that there'd be a lot more awkwardness between them, but obviously not the case. I mean, in fact, it's just a lot more awkward with Hina, which, by the way, Hina was self-reflecting in this episode, which, whoa, like, that's something. You don't normally see a character self-reflect when they make a mistake or they do something wrong. Like, for instance, after what happened with Natsuo and her, when in the bedroom scene, and then she, like, gets down at the door, she's like, what am I doing? She was self-reflecting. She was like, what am I doing with, someone that's technically family now, but also what am I doing with my student? Like, I'm making mistakes here. Like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm, cheating technically on my boyfriend. Like, why am I doing this? So, Hina is in a really awkward state right now, and I think her heart is just so confused and upset that she really doesn't understand anything. So, yeah. it's pretty much my thoughts on this episode of Domestic Girlfriend. Great episode. I have to say, this series is a lot better than I expected to be. I was told that it was going to turn into garbage, but I still don't see it. I still don't see garbage pile that many were talking about. The story is pretty good. It's mature, actually. It is mature. Very realistic reactions with the characters. I mean, if some things could be a little bit over-exaggerated, like the whole running away stuff, but, I mean, besides that, I think it is a very, good show. So I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, guys, Chibi out.